I have another spring story to share with you. And this story was written way back in 1941 by Sibylle Olfers. It's called When the Rude Children Wake Up. There's fairies under the ground right now, and they are sleeping. And when spring comes, they wake up and they come out from underneath, and they bring blossoms and insects and all kinds of things that bring on the spring. So this story was written, like I said, a while ago, and then someone else came along and rewrote the story. And her name is Audrey Wood. She rewrote the story and did the illustrations also, or no, Ned Bittinger did the illustrations, but she rewrote the story called When the Rude Children Wake Up. I hope you like this. This is kind of a beautiful story about when spring comes. When the rude children wake up. So here is a picture of what you would picture winter to look like if winter was a human being. Very cold looking, huh? This person's called Old Grandfather Winter. Old Grandfather Winter slowly walked across the land. He knows that spring will soon be here. Climbing the mountains to his palace of ice, he turns to watch the snows melting behind him. See how there isn't any snow here and there's flowers popping up? In her home beneath the ground, Mother Earth lights a fire in the hearth, sweeps away the cobwebs, and then throws open the shutters. Young Robin Redbreast lands on the windowsill. Rude children, young Robin calls, wake up. It is time for the masquerade. Awakening from their long winter's nap, they stretch and yawn and run their fingers through their tangled hair. But when they tumble from their beds, all they have to wear are their dreary husk clothes. Oh, don't cry, Mother Earth says, as she leans out her window and gathers bits of rainbow from the sky. With scissors, needle, and thread, the rude children set to work, making their blossom costumes. When their costumes were finished, they are laid aside, for there is one more task yet to be done. Deep beneath the ground, the rude children awaken the bugs and lead them up through the tunnels lit by fireflies. Dipping their brushes into the rainbow, the rude children paint the bugs until they sparkle like jewels. It's time to get dressed, children, Mother Earth calls. Everyone is waiting. At last, they are ready. Mother Earth unbolts the door, then blows upon her horn. Let the masquerade begin, she calls. Dressed in their flowering costumes, the rude children and jewel-covered bugs rush out to the world. Animals of every kind are there to greet them. Wake up, Aunt Spring, young Robin calls. The rude children are here. Kind Aunt Spring rises from her bed of ferns and lilies. The rude children smother her with kisses. You are so beautiful, kind Aunt Spring says. May love and happiness follow wherever you may bloom. The rude children scatter throughout the land, and the air is perfumed with their sweet scent. They bloom in the gardens, dance around the ponds, and skip through the fields with bugs and butterflies. Every day the sun grows warmer and the rude children play later. Soon, Aunt Spring grows weary from the heat. She returns to her bed of ferns and lilies, closes her eyes, and falls asleep. Do you think spring is over? Oh, suddenly, jolly cousin Summer slides down a waterfall and lands with a splash. The rude children race to greet him as he shakes the water from his fiery beard. Does that not look like summer, huh? The weeks pass by, and every sunny day is filled with laughter, music, and dance. It seems as if the masquerade will never end. But wait, shh, listen. Studious Uncle Fall is quieting the land. He puts on his spectacles, arranges his pencils and books, and then sits down at his desk. Cousin Summer slips his knapsack on his back and quickly strides over the hills and far away. It's time for school. A chilling wind begins to blow, and brightly colored leaves whirl to the ground. The wind rips away the rude children's costumes, leaving only their dreary husk clothes. Now, once again, Mother Earth blows her horn. Come home, rude children, she calls. Come home, come home. In the meadows, gardens, and forests, the rude children hear her call. One by one, they return to their home beneath the ground. Mother Earth bolts the door and latches the shutters tightly. The masquerade is over. It is time for her children to dream again. Tucking them in for the long winter's nap, she kisses each one goodnight. As they drift off to sleep, Mother Earth picks up her lute and sings them a lullaby. I guess he's waiting outside. Remember him? It's Grandfather Winter, starting all over again. So remember I said that this was a story that was rewritten by Audrey Wood. Well, here is the original story. And the pictures that went with that story are similar, but done a long time ago, like about 80 years ago. So here at the beginning of the story, if you recall, the rude children are underground and they have to get their costumes ready for springtime. They're just waking up. So here's Mother Nature. She's getting them ready. And the insects also need to be all dressed up for spring. So they're getting their costumes all ready. And the ladybugs are getting all their costumes ready. And all the other insects that come out at springtime. Now, guess what? It's time for spring, and all of the root children come up from down beneath the ground, and the insects as well. And they are carrying all of the flowers that bloom throughout the world at springtime. Here's the insects way up in the front. Now it's spring. Then starts to get a little warmer. Remember the other story, how the days got longer and warmer. More and more flowers are blooming. Now, here are the root children, and summertime has come. And there's some things that have gone to seed, like what happens normally in summertime. And the next season is, you got it, the fall. All the leaves start turning color and falling, and the root children are returning to Mother Nature and going underneath again for the next season, which is winter time, until the next spring when the root children wake up again. I hope you enjoyed these stories. I'm waiting for spring.